Greetings. Full Ball Vision's back in the house. Coming to you from County Kildare Island, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome. Welcome to the next 2 hours of your life that are going to be filled with the wonder, the beauty, the artistry, the calculation, and the logic of live blindfold chess. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. I hope you've had a good week. It's only been a couple of days since we met last. When we had special guest Tim Smith 121, and we had a couple of good games. But that cloud has passed. It's time for some fresh games, some new insights, and some novel challenges. Let's see what happens. If you're new to the stream, it's live blindfold chess. We play chess live, but blindfold. So you may ask, why have I not got a scarf around my head? Good question. That's because we can play in blindfold mode on Lichess. Lichess is the world's premier free live chess server. And as I'm about to show you, Lichess has this wonderful feature that allows us to play without being able to see the pieces. Now, there's a little bit of technical setup required in order for this to work, so just give me a sec. Should have done this earlier. Alright. Where's my blindfold board? Here you are. Okay, smashing. So that's what I can see. And in just 1 second, I'll show you what the opponent can see. There we go. Unprepared, unprofessional, unprepared, shoddy, slipshod. Can't be doing that, can you? Can't be doing that to your viewership. Think of how many emails I'm gonna have to send out now of apology. Not only have I wasted 45 seconds of your time, but also of mine, and that can be crucial, especially towards the end of a blindfold game. Anyway, the inset board on the webcam's what I can see. No pieces. Challenge. Like it. Love it. Relish it. Revel in it. Just a bit of fun. And yeah, the live board is what my opponent can see. I presume, unless they've also chosen for some insane reason to play in blindfold mode as well, but that's not mandatory. If you want to be an opponent and a challenger to full board vision, you can see the pieces. Now I can draw some arrows and you can see them. I can draw them on my board and they're visible on yours. So I should be able to try to explain what's going on in my mind as I try to play this game of chess in blindfold mode. So let's go. So we're in a 2 knights defense, I think. Knight f6 is a 2 knights defense. Now d4 is a bit of an old hat, not very good move. These days everyone seems to know what to do, but I've not got anything better. So, you know, should be playing the clever d3, should I? The Gico Pianissimo. Quietist game. But that's not my style. That's not full bob vision. Okay, our opponent has accepted the gauntlet, or should we say the gambit, and we will push forward e5, attacking their f6 knight. So this knight now is challenged. Does it have to move? All of you said yes. Wrong. Top move is d5, and counter-attacking my bishop. Okay, so let's tune in, let's zone in, because I've been yapping, and I've forgotten where stuff is. Now knight e4, now this move is playable. It is playable. I don't think it's as bad as knight g4. It's probably not as good as d5, but it is playable. Queen e2, so I'm attacking that guy. Now I think what you do here is you probably play knight d6, is that what you do? Or knight c4, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Ah, sorry, knight c5, probably so you can go back to e6. Of course you don't play knight d6. We've got a pawn on e5. Okay, so now we've got some choices. Oh, have we? I'm not sure we do. Not sure. Okay, we could play bishop e3, I guess. Or could we? No, there's a pawn on d4. Let's not forget that. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Okay. Knight g5 to hit f7? Perhaps. Not sure. I think we should just castle. I really do. Nothing's attacked. We gave a pawn away. But let's just complete our development, I think. Okay, bishop e7 played. So I think black wants to castle on the king's side. Okay, what should we do? Okay, I'm going to play c3. I'm going to accept that I've lost a pawn and just try and keep up with the development. Idea is, I guess, if dc, I'm going to take back with a knight for sure. And maybe I can land my knight on d5 where it hits this bishop and we might win the bishop pair. Also prevents our opponent from pushing d5, which they're probably not going to do when we've got a pawn on e5, but still. Okay, now things have kind of opened up a little, haven't they? So I think knight d5 is a good move. Can we get away with bishop e3? I kind of feel like that might be more prudent once the knight's on d5, but maybe it won't be. Maybe we can play bishop e3. Oh no, yeah, now there's no pawn on d4. Maybe we can play bishop e3 right now. I feel like I'm starting to lose sight of the position, but, well. Okay, so the knight jumps straight back to e6. Okay, fair. So what's going on? Our pawn structure, I believe, is like this, and I believe theirs is actually still like this, right? Yeah. I think they played rook e1 in the last move, did they? Or did they castle? Rook e8. Need to start remembering this. Is the rook on e8 or not? I don't think it is. I think it's on f8. Right, in that case, I feel like knight d5 is the way to go. We could play bishop e6, but I don't really see why we should do that. Or we could bring our rooks to the open files. I'm going to play knight d5, and the reason for that is that I want to get the bishop pair at least out of this position. So threatening knight takes e7 check to pick off the bishop, and that will leave us with a dark square bishop and our opponent without one. As we also have our light square bishops still on the board. That will grant us the bishop pair. Now then, here's an opportunity. What I like about this idea... they'll play queen d6, right, that's what they'll do. They'll play... but if they play queen d6, then we might have a rook d1 idea. Maybe they'll play bishop d6, maybe that's what they'll do. Okay, so we should take... Right, we get the bishop pair, like we said we would. And... Okay, so queen takes now. Can we go ahead and either isolate the pawns or bring the queen, to d6? I think we can. And then... I think we should do that. It just feels like the right thing to do. So CD, and that will be an isolated pawn on d6, which is a weakness. It will be a long-term weakness. And if queen d6, then I think we're going to start getting some counterplay, or starting to reap the reward of our lead in development that we got from our gambit by playing rook d1, if nothing else. Now then, the CD and E files are just wide open, aren't they? There are no pawns. The pawns that began on these squares are no longer there. Knight g4 is a tempting idea, isn't it? So let's just stop that from being a possibility. Threatening rook takes d6. Now then, queen on e2. Can we use that to some effect? We could play bishop g5 now, and that would open up our queen. But hang on, there's nothing actually... The knight's on e6, so that doesn't work. Okay, good. Glad we noticed that. Okay, this bishop is going to fly out to g4 before anything else happens, isn't it? So perhaps we should play queen e4, or maybe we're actually not bothered about that. With the bishop on e3, we couldn't have done that anyway. You know what move I'll actually quite like? Queen c4, threatening bishop c5. Maybe that's a good idea. We've got a bishop on c4, so we can't do that. Difficult. Very difficult. Let's just continue developing. Where did the queen go? e7, yeah. Okay. Alright, we're already 3.5 minutes down. Oh, that's an interesting move because it leaves the knight unprotected. Leaves the knight unprotected. So a move like this. Have we got ideas? Then we could play queen c4. Attacking this thing. It would probably move. What about bishop e4? Bishop e4 is... okay. We can't do that, obviously. Right, we need a moment to think here. I don't like the look of it. I just don't see what to do with the bishop pair. Okay, well, we've got to make a decision. That was the decision. So we pin the knight to the rook. It has an easy defense, bishop b7. Then we plan on going queen c4. The idea is we put 2 attacks on this knight. We also put 2 attacks on this rook, which is going to force another pawn weakness to occur on the e-file. Either... Ah, it's not, is it? Because they can take with the queen. Okay. So what does it do? Queen c4 after bishop b7. We have got good rooks. That's one thing. Okay, they went that way, but now the thing is still pinned. It's still pinned, and that means maybe we can just straight away play queen. Oh, we can't do that. But if we play queen c4, they will wander off here, most probably. But then there's queen takes c7. Right, we might just get away with that. Yeah, maybe, because we can retreat all the way to g3. So we may have just found our way into this game. Queen c4. Where are our opponent's pawns? Here, I believe, versus ours. Victory here. 2.5 minutes. As usual, running out of clock. The inexorable clicking of the chess clock. Marching down to 0. While we ponder away. Right. Expected. Queen takes c7. Shit, there's a knight on e6. Don't blunder your queen. Don't blunder your queen. He nearly took a trip on the blunderbuss. Fun fact, blunderbuss isn't a bus. Right, where should we go? Maybe queen e4, actually. Oh, hang on, we are attacking this rook, you know. So is there somewhere we can go with menace? Menace. I like this move, personally. I know that does leave a discovery on the cards, but it does threaten bishop e3. Okay. f4 we can't. e4 we probably can. So let's do that. Oh, it does look messy though. Okay, we are threatening this. So this is a natural move, I'd say. Rook a d8. This knight looks like it's in the wrong place, gotta be honest. Is b4 a threat? b4 might be a threat, because then, you know, where does the knight go? It is lost. So rook d8, rook a d8, maybe b4 is a thing, because then this knight here on a5, it's got no squares. These are all covered by our battery, or our queen and bishop. And, you know, these guys are also covered, so... I think b4 is a threat, and with our 1 minute 47 left on the clock, we might be able to do something with this position. c6. Okay, I understand. Okay, so b4 is no longer a threat, but... Hang on. Okay, I mean, it's forced. I think we have to take here, right? I think it's kind of forced. But... Oh, yeah, that's annoying. Okay, gotta do it. Bishop takes e6. Probably... So he played queen e... They play queen e6. Our queen is not protected. If we trade queens, we're just going to be pawned down. But if we don't... Dunno. Should we drop back? I feel like we should actually drop back rather than trade queens. Although I'm still struggling to see where the hell everything is. Oh, we can't just drop back. Okay. Queen h4 then? Let's do queen h4. At least we threaten knight g5. And all sorts of other things, actually. Bishop b6, for example. Okay, do we threaten? I think we do threaten bishop b6. So yeah. Oh, doesn't that win a... Doesn't that... Ah, he's going to trade rooks. But what if we trade rooks first? Oh, we can't trade rooks. Why not? What's in the way? Oh, there's bishop on d7, so he's winning. Bishop takes b6. threatens the queen, and threatens bishop takes a5. And it threatens bishop takes d8. Now then, I'm not sure whether they've got a rook on e8. I don't think they have. I think it's still on f8. Nonetheless, even if it was, this is not a back rank. Oh, it would be a back rank mate. No, it's not, because I've got a rook here and a knight here. Just talking out loud there. Let's get in position for these 20 seconds. Winning position on the board, lost position on the clock. The usual. The typical scenario. Just remember where the pawns are. This weird one. Ah, there's no longer a pawn on b6. Like so, I believe. That's not a pawn. That's a rook. Okay, come on, Safet 123. Show us what you got. Flag me. Do it. I've got 22 seconds. I can't see the pieces, but you don't know that. It's a big advantage you have playing Blindfold. Your opponent doesn't know you're playing Blindfold. Sometimes they resign and you've got no idea where anything is. Right, this is just a straight up trade of queens, isn't it? We trade queens. And this looks like an improvement, but it's not, because we can now actually just trade a pair of rook. Hang on, if we trade a pair of rooks... Yeah, but they... Yeah, we could have won a whole piece, but somehow... I mean, if they take this now, it's an exchange, isn't it? Is it an exchange? Yeah, because then we trade rooks. But it does give us some clarity, like we understand now. Don't understand that. Okay. That's a check. Okay, I do understand that. So where did the knight go? It went to c4. What have we got? It's bishop on e3 and a rook on d1. This one c4 threatens... Okay, so let's just play b3. Huh? b6. Oh, I had a bishop there still. I forgot about that. Oh, shit. Oh, bugger. And then what's just happened? Oh, and I just hung my knight. Oh, this is just absolutely disgusting. I had 2 extra pieces and I just blundered both of them. Like, what the hell? God. I bet this guy thinks all of his birthdays have come at once. Great stuff. Right, so hang on, isn't that can I skewer them guys now? I feel like that. Okay, there's a pawn on c6. Okay, so okay, let's just f4. I don't know where anything is. Where's my king? Right, let's bring the king back on the dark squares. Let's just try and understand where... Was that king f7? I think that was king e6. That is just so gutting. Gutting is what it is. Ridiculous. Right. Another game. Hang on, that's just... Oh, okay, now I understand what they've done. Right, so... Let's just go there. I'm sure that blunders a pawn, but... What can we do? Yep. Alright, let's try and relocate the rook. Our rook. Disgusting. Okay, well, I'll take a draw. Oh, did I just blunder my rook? Yeah, I did. I think I blundered it before, so... Let's just take a quick look at that just to show it's so funny what happened. One sec while I bring up the analysis board. The hilarious thing is that I just won 2 pieces and then I gave them both up on the next 2 moves. So I'm looking at around... Let's move to the point where I'm talking about here. So the point where I play rook takes f8. I've got an extra piece, right. What do? Blunder it. And then what do I do here? Forgetting that I've got a knight on f3 and that it's attacked, I go and play g3. I had an extra rook and I gave up 2 pieces in a row. Yeah, interesting. I mean, I don't know why here Black didn't play A-B. In fact, if they had, maybe I'd have had a bit more vision over the position. Anyway, that was okay. I mean, all that happened is we just got low on time and lost. As usual. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. It's like blindfold chess. It's what happens in the blindfold world. We do wish for it to, you know, happen a bit less, and then we might, you know, make our way up the rankings. Alright, we're at 1587. That was a tough loss to take, but we've got a Sicilian, and here we are, back in. Alright, so Sicilian with d6. So we go for the open Sicilian, probably cd. Yep, knight takes d4. That's the trouble when players play on. You know, can't they just resign? Can't they just resign? Alright, knight goes to f6, so I'm going to play knight c3. Now, parting of the ways, I guess. Oh, bishop g4, I've never seen that before. Someone's going to have to explain to me what in the world that even is. Okay. Gotta be honest, something doesn't feel right. Let's have a think. So we brought our minor pieces out to c3 and d4. Our opponent has a knight on f6. And their bishop now on g4, which attacks our queen. Now, we could just play f3 to say, see you later. But we could also play bishop b5 with a check. And that will actually force the bishop to retreat to d7, right? Because if we play bishop b5, so knight d7, we can then just take this bishop, because the defender has been removed. And if our opponent goes, well, I'm attacking your queen, so you can attack mine, that won't work, because we'll take it with a check. So I think this is a way to just develop. And I think it is a check, so I'm going to go for it. Because pawn went to d6. Okay, bishop d7 play, but now after the trade, I think we're fine with that. I think we're fine. So it's kind of given us a free hand. We could play bishop g5 maybe. I like the look of that. Bishop g5. Hang on. Is there a queen a4 check? No. It's not a check, so probably don't need to worry about it. There we are. Okay, I'm already feeling good about this one. I can't believe what happened in that last game. Heinous. Okay, e6. So now this guy is pinned to the queen. Good. Taking on e6 looks super attractive, actually. I know that it's protected, but somehow there seems to be a route to the king there. Not quite yet. Not yet. A bit early for that. But what about the good old e5? Forcing a d6. Sorry, a d takes e5. Okay, that does hit our knight. If we could prepare that, that might be a thing we could do. We're fully developed now, though, aren't we? So maybe we should think about clearing the back rank, bringing the rooks in. What about knight e4? Probably bishop e7. Let's castle. Let's just keep it classical. Let's just castle. Stop wasting all of our time. So bishop e7 has unpinned this knight. Yep. I still feel like e5 should be a good move. e5, d takes, e5. I don't really know why. Okay, can we do a queen f3 or something like that? Is that a thing we want to do? Kind of hard to understand what to do in this structure. I think we want to target d6, right? So maybe we just want to play d2 and queen d2 and rook d1, but we just don't want to allow knight e4. But I don't think it works because we'll have knight c takes d4, which will put a second protection on our g5 knight. And by the way, the bishop is always protected. So I think queen d2 is safe and sound. Until our opponent uncorks a brilliancy, showing us it's neither. But until such times, we'll believe it is. Okay, they've castled. Don't think that changes anything. So rook ad1. Now we've got some pressure against this d6 pawn in the form of our heavy pieces. Meaning that, okay, when the trades occur, takes. We have this knight move threatening the d pawn. What knight move could that be? Should we retreat? Have they still got a knight on b8? Yeah, I think they have, yeah. They have. So, ooh. If we play bishop c4, is d5 a thing? Yes. We could drop all the way back to e2. I don't really like the look of that. Yeah, but I think we should. Maybe get to f3. I'm gonna go for it. Okay, now this is different. This is different because d6 is hanging, right? Doesn't look like it is, but it is. Okay, so which order should we do things in? I guess we go here, it's less obvious that they should take with the g-pawn, but we should expect that that's what they're going to do. Capturing here, we take back with the queen. I don't think that allows any other options. It does keep the bishop on d7 where it's passive. So maybe we should just go straight in here. Alright, that gives them bishop. So we take, they take. Then we can trade. They will capture. And that leaves d6 hanging. They will trade, we'll get a rook there, and they'll double our pawns. So the question is whether to take on c6 first or to take on f6 first. They're going to take with the g-pawn, aren't they? So what's our plan after that? Alright, let's just go this way around. Not sure why. If I'm honest. I'm expecting bishop takes. G takes, maybe they'll see it. But I mean, even, yeah. I'm expecting bishop takes. This is a line I'm expecting. Which leaves us with an extra pawn, but we've got... Oh, hang on, no, they can't take here. So we're attacking the d7 bishop. Ah, that's clever. That's clever, okay. Alright, so then maybe they should take with the G pawn. Okay, so they take with the G pawn. Ooh, but then we've got takes, and E5. They take on E5. It doesn't quite work, does it? Okay, so GF. Knight takes C6. They'll have bishop takes C6, that's of course. Right, bishop takes C6 will be played in all cases, of course. Okay, so after GF, maybe we should play bishop F3. Maybe. Oh well, here we are, 35 minutes in, one game down, and one underway. I'm not really bothered about winning. Just about having a good game, isn't it? Yeah. How many people have said that, you know, and just not meant it? It's not true, is it? Right, GF. GF is in the building. GFy boy. I quite like bishop F3 somehow. Why? Kind of seems to open everything up. I also like E5. So if we go E5, well, they will just play knight takes. Okay, there's also bishop H5, which looks kind of tempting-ish. And there's queen H6, which also looks tempting-ish. You know what? I'm going to go bishop F3. Should I go bishop F3? Yes. Now then, with this pawn structure, well, I guess this pawn structure? Okay, knight d4 played. Hitting the f3 bishop. That's alright, it is protected. Preventing an e4. But now there is a move like queen f4. I like queen f4. Does this knight attack anything? I don't think it does. I don't think the e5 knight's really attacking anything apart from the f3 bishop. You know, but I've already given my bishops up, so queen f4. And let's concentrate. So probably they want to play like king h8 and rook g8.
Expected.
Okay, looks weird, but I'm just going to try and retrieve or retreat my bishop so that I can play a move like queen h6 and maybe queen e3 and then f4. Because this knight's just a proper nuisance, or it feels like it is. And yeah, just against anything intruding on the g file. And try and get this structure going on. Now then, we shouldn't be worried because their pawn structure is pretty awful. But they have got the bishops. Okay, rook g8, of course. Okay, let's drop back. I know that there's rook g4, but I don't think it's a problem. What move even is that? A rook e8. Rook d8, sorry. After going king h8. That's very strange. Where's the queen? Right, okay, I've lost track. Where's the black queen? Okay, it's getting hairy. No, that must be the move queen f8. So where's the rook? Have they played rook g8 already? Okay, okay, so that's queen f8, got it. Okay, so they're trying to preserve the squares. Doesn't this leave d6 vulnerable? No, it doesn't. e6? Oh no. Okay, this is difficult. Right, let's drop back to c1. No, drop back to c1. Okay. Let's drop back to e3. Got on f4. Yeah, I don't like it. Really want e5. It's not that bad though, we haven't lost any material yet. I say yet, like it's incoming. Down on time. Difficult positions. Same old story. Same excuses. Same tunes. I thought that might occur. Okay, how do we deal with that then? Bishop, yeah, queen e2. It does attack the knight, but I think it's defended by a rook on g8. At least that's the only way I could see that a piece could move from e8 to f8. So I think it's king, rook, queen, bishop, bishop, rook versus. Well, the queen just moved. Is that offering a trade? No, it's not. Okay. That is threatening a bit of a problem down there. Okay, we can go h3, excuse me, because we've got the bishop on g2. Okay, so now they've trotted back, which looks good. Now, shall we play f4? I can't see what else we can do if we don't do that. So now we've got the light squares covered. Maybe it's okay. Finally, we'll then be able to play e5, and that might free our game. Can we even play e5, you know? Takes, takes, takes. Not sure if that really is even helpful for us. Ah, yeah, because d7 is hanging. Okay, okay, so takes, and that will, well, it will open the f file against f7. And the queen currently sitting on h6 doesn't defend it, so okay, maybe e5 is an idea to get something going with our 14 seconds that we've ended up with. Too much yapping. Come on, Slet-Holman. I've got 14 seconds, mate. Just play a move. Big battle. Right, where are our pawns? I think we're like that. Knight, knight, bishop, queen, rook, rook. And they're like this, with queen, king, rook, rook, bishop, bishop, knight. Okay, right, now e5 actually doesn't work because the knight is protecting it, right? So, what about our queen is behind it? So, no, that doesn't work. Right, so let's do king h2. So knight's on c6. Oh, we could have captured that knight. Ah. Okay, but our knight is protected. Okay, we could have just captured. Okay, now we definitely should capture. Bishop will take. They played e5, is that right? Yes. Oh. Can't we just take that bishop? Why can't we take the bishop? I don't understand what's going on, but apparently we can't take the bishop. Queen f3? What's stopping us taking the bishop? There's a pawn on d6. Got it. Right. Okay, so that was designed to stop our knight coming into d5. Queen f3 was a move which revealed that we have no idea what's going on at all. Rook g7. Okay, let's just try and plow open the files. Probably f takes. E takes, but now we can take the bishop. I think we just won a piece. This bishop is also hanging against f7, which is attacked 3 times. So they're probably going to have to play rook e1. Rook e8, excuse me. Oh, hang on. Did they attack our queen there when they did that? No, our queen's on f. What's that? Okay, but now we've got this, right? Pretty sure we have that. Oh, what's on g7? Yeah, the rook, but there's a... Huh? I thought we could take on f7. Okay, no idea what's going on. Oh, there's a pawn on f6. Okay, difficult. Difficult. I think we had a good position. I think we had a very good position there at the end, but as always, just not enough time. I mean, not in this position, but not in exactly this position. But I think here we had a very good position. Well, not here, but here. Queen f6. Yeah, I just couldn't see what was going on. We just won a piece. Okay. You know what? It's the way it goes. We will carry on. 2 down. You know, if you want to make an omelette, got to lose a couple of games. Okay, so this is some sort of, I don't know, call system or something. It's an opening that white plays if they've got no ambition at all. I think b3. So what's going on? Probably want to play bishop b2. Okay, so should we play c5 or should we play g6? G6 seems to be designed so that we can't play g6. We've already played c5. Okay, good. Good that we're paying attention. All right, knight c6. Bishop d3. Now, okay, we can't do c4. I probably wouldn't want to do that anyway. Okay, but maybe we can play bishop g4. You know? Okay, knight d2, but does it work? I think we pick up the d4 pawn now, right? E takes and then knight takes d4. Because this guy's pinned. Right, the f3 knight is not defending d4. This is no defense. Okay, and they've not even attempted to recapture. Instead, they're driving away the g4 bishop. Okay. We're trying to. Now... if we go ahead and crack off another pawn, and they capture, we capture here, and that's a check. And we only won 1 pawn there. They did open up the H file. But I feel like we got a good position there. We've still got a d5 pawn as well, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so we take, they take us. We could drop back, and if they go here, we can take. That would force them, and I think that's better, because if they want to then win the, if they want to trade pieces, they'll end up with pawns here and here, rather than here and here. I think that's better because of where the rook's placed. Okay, so let's drop back, expecting g4. At least that's the consistent follow-up if your idea is to drive the bishop away. Maybe DE was better. Okay, but now DE. And I think this is better for us. We'll take this with check. If they capture us, now that's true. Well, then we'll drop back. We can trade bishops if you want. That will open our rook up against the compromised, or should we say the advanced pawns on the king side. So I think that's going to be okay. All right, so they've done this. Fine. Okay, so now their pawn structure is like this, I think. And ours is still like this. Oh, lovely. We're a pawn up. Okay, let's retreat the bishop. They've traded. Okay, like I say, I don't mind that coming back up here. Okay, I would have thought this pawn was collectible. Ah, it's not. Oh, that's their pawn, of course. Excuse me. Good. I'm glad we understood that. So... okay, what do we want to do? Probably castle long. Or maybe not. Maybe just bring the king to f8. So we could play bishop c5. Quite like that. We could just play e5 and then say, where's that knight going to go? Don't see a spot for it at the moment. Can we deal with it landing on b5? a6? I think so. Bishop b5 check an idea. Ah, it might be, right? Because we've not got... we'll have to play knight d7 there. No, but maybe we just can. e5. I didn't realise we had a pawn on... a knight on c6. Of course we did. Okay, now bishop b2. Okay, so they're really whipping out the moves against us. There's a really, really nice idea here, I think. Like, if I can play queen d7, and I think in that position, if they move their bishop... oh, the bishop's on d3 already. Okay, if they don't castle long, I think we're threatening queen takes g4, hg, rook takes rook, king moves, let's say e2, and then we get the queen. Is it a good move positionally? I'm not sure it is, to be honest. Okay. Can we play bishop b4? I think we might be able to. Okay, none of that works because the queen's actually defending g4. They're attacking e5, just seeing that. Okay, so bishop e3. Sorry, d6. e3 if you flip the board round. Better guard. Look at that. It's got 4.5 minutes more than us. Okay, Queen E2. So it's clear now the plan is to castle long and put pressure here. Is Queen F6 an idea? I think it might be. You know, even Queen G5. Maybe that's what we should have done to begin with. The bishop went to B2, so where did the pawn go? B3? Didn't notice that. Didn't notice that, unfortunately. I guess it must have done. Queen G5, we're going to run into knight F3s and stuff like that, so let's go Queen F6. Oh, we can't do that either. Whoa. What did I just do? I have no idea what I just did. We've got a knight on F6, right? Okay, of course. Blimey. Blimey O'Reilly. Okay, so we can do a bit of this. Oh, the whole time we could have gone and just captured that. Alright, maybe not, because the queen's on it. Right, Queen E7. Right. Just Rook B8 then. This is turning into a bit of a challenge. Right, so what's going on? Knight, bishop. There are two minor pieces. They've got bishop, knight. Yep, they've got this weird pawn structure like this, I think. The king has gone to B1. Our king is still in the middle of the board. So what do we want to do? You really want to put the knight here, or don't you? Okay. Hang on, they've got a pawn on E3, so the queen on E2 isn't even looking over here. So let's play bishop H6, right? Or actually, what's bishop A3? Are there any checks coming in? No, because we've got all of these squares covered. Okay, I think that this can't blunder up a piece somehow. My worry is that there's actually a pawn on B2, but I think the bishop went there. We just got a big center and they've got an isolated pawn. So queen went to A3, interesting. This is a check. That's attacked. Luckily our rook is here. Any other problems? Okay, so I think we just go ahead and capture. They're probably going to throw in queen C6 check. We're going to go king F8. Or are we? Maybe we can go queen here. Save E4, D5. Oh, it's not clear. At the end of the day, this pawn is protected. Okay. King F8. King B2, yep, forced. Now, that's annoying that we didn't put our queen here. We should have done that. Okay, what about queen B2? B7 rather. Quite sure what it does. Oh. too difficult. Spent all my time on rook d8. Okay, I want to go queen d6. Just swap off. Bring my king to e7 and try and play the game of chess. So we lost, we gave back the pawn that we won, so now we've got this thing. And they've got still this, I think. Yeah, okay. King, knight, rook, rook. Rook, rook, king, knight. Okay. Ah, interesting. Okay, so they're trying to get in here. Don't think that's going to work. But unfortunately, that will work. That's annoying. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Have every hole in the house, why don't you? So the knight's probably going to sit in on d4, queen d6, and we've got a backwards pawn on d5. Maybe we should think about throwing this guy up the board. We're basically playing down a rook. It's not ideal at all. Probably we need to play king e7, but against a d4 knight, we've then got to look out for these. I mean, that's not a check on f5 because we've got a pawn on g6. But still, you know, if we take our eye off c7, excuse me, off c6 at any point. Or in fact, you know, if the queen happens to stay in touch with c6, which it surely will once it retreats. Huh? Okay, so now we can take the queen. They've gone there and attacked us, but we can now attack them. Oh, this is awful. We're going to lose d5 and everything. Oh, I think we got lucky there. Okay, king takes. The problem was after taking d5, they would have just come straight down here and we were getting toasted royally. Right, at least we've got chances now. Okay, let's bring this guy away from the H file. Okay, they've doubled rooks, which makes a lot of sense, but we've got a good king and that shouldn't be underestimated. Now the 6th rank has some weaknesses. Well, it has one weakness. It's got two actually. So rook f3 would be a nice move. We're covering the back rank so these checks won't come in, but this one is weak. They've got, okay, I think we should still go to the 3rd rank and then maybe we'll try and come back around this way. Or so that was a total calamity, and it came down to not castling, I guess, and then not taking the opportunity to block the check with the queen, which probably would have led to a trade. Okay, now we can take on e3, so I think we should. Yep, they've gone there, but I think now we might have double rooks, so we can go back. Oh, we've got a pawn there. Okay, so, aha. Is that our pawn on d5? On e4, sorry. Why couldn't we play rook e4? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, now we're just going to push that guy. Aha, okay, we've got a plan. We've got a plan. And we can see the position. Okay, so we've got 3 pawns and they've got 5? No. So we've got 1, 2. I mean, I can see 3 pawns of ours. And I think they've got 5. So what am I missing? Because they've only got 1 more. I think that's where theirs are. And this is where I think ours are. Nope, sorry. Yeah. What was captured on c3 rather than the knight? Okay, our plan is just to push. King is good. Although I am missing the whereabouts of 1 pawn. Yeah, maybe they've not got all the pawns I thought they got. So most likely they don't have a C pawn. They've got B and A. And ours look like this. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Let's get these in the right place. Difficult. That's what I think it is. Okay, now we can just go ahead pushing, because if we get to... Okay, and if we get to here, we're threatening this. Okay, which they've defended against in this way, but does it work? No, you take this, we win a rook. And this guy's pinned, right? Oh, it's not pinned. Ah, but still, they went for it anyway. They could have just taken... Ah, yeah, okay, it's all good. Woo! I think we won a rook. Yeah, that looks like a good move, but we do win a rook. Okay, now we'll get to find out where the pawn... So that's definitely a king move. Okay, now I think there's 2 pawns on the 5th rank. So let's just get rid of those. Alright, there aren't. Okay. I think if we just cover the back rank, we'll find out what's a pawn soon enough, and then we'll just push our B pawn. G pawn. We'll find out where the king is soon enough, because it'll start chasing our G pawn. Okay, so let's just make note, but I think they've got 2 pawns here and here. Okay, now do we need to pay attention? I mean, we're going to get a queen before them. And happily we're going to be able to capture one of their guys. Okay, so... That's a king move. I think these must be the only pieces they got left on the board. I'm gonna guess that that's the case, and that this is a check. Okay, that looks about right. And then also that I can't make that move. Weird. Okay, what was stopping? Maybe they've still got an F pawn? Looks like they've still got an F pawn. Okay, I'm gonna go... What am I gonna do? Okay, so I think this is winning. And I think it's winning because they're gonna advance. We're gonna capture that. They're gonna capture with their king. Now we're going to give them a check. They're going to go here. We still got a pawn. So all we got to do is advance it. I can't remember where the king went. Well, it must be on h2. h7, sorry. Okay, so now we kind of force them to spend a turn. Yeah, we have got this mechanism where we keep the king behind the pawn, and that gives us a tempo. Yeah, so we just keep doing this basically forever. Okay, yeah, that can be done. What's the antidote to that then? Just give him a check. Let's do this. Cool. Just milking the most out of this, you know. As you do. Where's the queen gone? Just clicking the squares till she shows up. Thank you. Okay, we made a bit of a hash of that, but in the end we did get there. Second queen on the board, and I think that's a mate. Oh no, that wouldn't be mate. This would not be mate. How then? But it is mate in 2, isn't it? Queen a5, king b8, and queen fa is mate. Alright, got one back. Let's have a little look at this game. Oof, a lot of moves, but what happened in this game? Okay, so here we just want a clean pawn. Okay, bishop takes f3 apparently was stronger. Of all the moves, this was the weakest that we considered. Okay, but now we're in pretty good shape. Yeah, black's got a big plus. Did we trade? We should have. Oh, okay. This is okay. Queen a6, good move. Won the pawn back, and now, yeah, perhaps here we should have just played queen d7. This is the start of the troubles. Now white's better. And we didn't really know what to do. But we got lucky because we managed to win the e3 pawn, and then we just threw this guy down the board. And here, yeah, the move we played is just a blunder because they can play the rook from the back rank to capture the pawn. I forgot, I thought the king was on b1, so that this would have been a pin, and it wouldn't have been possible, and the move that was played in the game would have been forced, but it wasn't. This was just winning. Rook f2, yeah, just got to defend the pawn. And we're still better, but why? Why is black better? Oh, is the idea that we just run the king? Let's see. What if they push the pawn? f5. Okay, I guess the pawn isn't going to promote on its own. f4, b4, f3. Keep going, and then okay, then rook f1. Right, all we needed to do is protect this unit on e2. Interesting. Okay, instructive. All right, let's roll on. 2 down, 1 up. Every game a time scramble. The usual. But that's how it rolls on full board vision. That's what makes it exciting. That's why the viewers just keep returning. It's excitement, you know. It gets their adrenaline going. They can feel it. Every move. Every Ponziani. With c3 here. Now, you can play knight f6, but that's what they want you to do. I think d5 is a good move here, and the reason is that after ed, queen takes on d5. Okay, so I think pawn to e5 is a good move. The reason being that if they capture, like so, we can just take back with the queen. And the reason why this is not so bad, as it would be normally, is that this pawn, which made its way to c3, is blocking the knight's natural deployment. Okay, bishop went to e2. Not the norm. That might allow us to finish our development in a natural way. So, what's going on? Let's just check in. I think it looks Yes, we play d5. It looks like this, right? They've got development like so, and we've got this. Queen. Oh, and a knight on c6. Oh, normally they pin this knight, which causes you a bit of problem. So we could either go bishop d6 or even bishop c5. Guess they might hit us with d4, but no. Then we can take. Well, not queen takes, but certainly bishop takes. For some reason I prefer bishop d6, so I'm going to put the bishop on d6 and just castle short before something bad happens. Maybe it's too late. I guess it's queen a5 check, and if bishop d2 we can play bishop b4 blocking. So you don't want to stick around and have our queen captured. We could play queen e4. It just looks wrong. It feels wrong. You know, most likely it is wrong. Just let's make sure that we're not doing something really weird here. It's not a check. That's a good point. Still a pawn on d2. So let's kind of throw that in there. Very odd structure, this. You never see this at all. Now then, I would say that we really do want to make sure that this queen doesn't get stranded. I think it's alright for the moment, so... wow, still got a knight on g8. Amazing, amazing. Okay, knight f6. How can they exploit our offside queen here on the a5 square? By playing d3, excuse me, and then coming in with bishop d2, threatening a discovery. So we should try and do something about that, and I think we can actually play knight d4 now. I think that's a good move. The reason why I quite like d4, knight d4 and want to play it is because I want to play c6 to get my queen out there. So this is a clearance, but also, I mean, the trade will probably favor us. Did we just leave no, e5 is protected. Okay, that's what I was expecting. Are there any discoveries that really bother us? So if we play c6 and they discover something with this c3 knight, let's say, I don't know. Let's say knight e4. Right, because it looks good, it hits the bishop. Well, can't we play bishop b4 there? I think we can. Moreover, didn't our opponent just allow knight c2? Oh, the queen is on d1, yeah, okay, so they didn't allow that. We could play knight f3 with a check, queen takes, get out of there that way, but I quite like that after they capture it's going to hit this knight somehow. Do I like that? I feel like this just helps them develop, but maybe that's not really true. Maybe it helps us develop. Okay, let's just go c6 because our time is going to run out if we don't do something. Ooh, you know what? Could they do knight e4? Really? Could they actually do that? Because that prevents bishop b4. Okay, they made the move that I thought they would make, which is knight e4. I was just thinking about knight d5. Looks silly, but it would have come with a tempo on the queen, so... Okay, I think it's bishop b4. Do we throw in this first? It's kind of annoying because this knight's going to get captured. That is pretty annoying. Okay, and then we're going to have to take back like so. So we could play queen d8. right? That's probably the idea, isn't it? We have to give up the bishop pair. Or should we risk having this weird pawn structure? Yeah. I don't think we want that pawn structure. Especially as they can trade here. Yeah, I don't think we can allow that. So we've got to go queen d8. And that's annoying because we've lost the bishop pair. So c6 it looks like was just too slow. And yeah, maybe black is, maybe white is better. Okay, are we trapped? I think they should have captured us there. I mean, for example, we can take, and if they take, we win a pawn. Isn't this knight just hanging? What's defending that knight? d3 is defending the knight. Okay. But if we take and they take, then c5 is hanging. d8 is protected. So I think that may have been an inaccuracy. By the way, we've still got a knight on d4, so we could throw that in, but I don't want to just yet. So yes, white is now getting the bishop pair, but they could have had that for free. In this line, it's cost them a pawn. Yeah. The bishop pair for the price of a peshka. Alright, I think bishop c5. I don't see a reason why I shouldn't do that, but let's just try to remember what's going on. So the pawn structure's a bit of a mess now. Remember this c pawn went all the way to c5. So I think we're looking at this. No, the e pawn was... yeah, the d pawn made its way over. I think that's what we're looking at from the white side. And from the black side, I think it's still this, you know? Oh no, c6. The computer is suggesting we're not a pawn up yet. Yeah, okay. Because there's still a pawn on c5. Okay, so... we've got bishops on d2 and e2. Knight in c3. Ah, the bishop will be making its way to e2. f3, excuse me. Which doesn't look like a very good square, if I'm honest. However, now we've got d4 well and truly under control, so this is good. Okay, I'm expecting short castles. Okay, I didn't see that coming. And that's usually not a good sign. But in this case, do we have queen f6? I think queen f6 might be a good move. Oh, hang on. We've got a rook on e8. Oh, we haven't castled yet. That's the thing. Okay, we haven't castled. Fine. In that case, there are all sorts of queen a5s, right? Ah, that's not a check, yeah, because we've got a pawn on c6. That worked out quite well. All right, I think we should play queen f6. Are they going to go knight d3? Is that a legal move? Yeah, I think it is. Hits c5, protects f2. Okay, they went this way, which is a similar idea. I think now we can take on b2, if I'm not mistaken. What I like about that is if rook b1, we can go in knight c2 check, or even queen c2. So Because I think the bishop's on d2, yeah? I'm pretty sure it is. So I think we can take on... No, because we've got a knight on d4. That's so annoying. Everything's annoying with me, isn't it? Okay, so what should we do here? They just nabbed a pawn, didn't they? A clean pawn. How vulgar. Alright, well. So ist es. Well, look, they've used about as much time as we've got left. Mr. 1616 wins the pawn back. E4 is now weak, so that's good. They've castled. Okay, I think we should follow suit. Let's think. Okay, so we've got these semi-open D and E files. They've got this pawn on E4. We've got this majority on the queen side. Yeah, but they've got a king side majority. This E pawn is on a sort of semi-open file, so maybe we can target that. One minute 36. Too slow. Too weak. Too slow. Well, Apollo 33 is tanked, well and truly. And now, out of the tank they emerge. From the tank. Emergent. Now this does leave the knight unprotected. And, well, it does defend e4. However, have we got an f5 shot here? Probably not. It's 2 minors each, isn't it? No, hang on, is it 3 minors each? So we've still got bishop d2. So we've got knight d4, bishop c5. Oh god, we still got a bishop on c8. Oh, that's insane. Okay, so in that case, I'm gonna go queen h4. I think that puts a second attack on this g4 knight. Sometimes you just forget what minor pieces are left because you're not thinking about where they are because they're on the starting squares. It sounds like a fantastic excuse, but that is kind of what's going on. Or at least I think that's how I explain. Completely forgetting they're going to go c8 bishop. Because the knight hops in. But hang on, I think their rook is on e1, so that means that we can move with Venom this knight, can't we? Did that knight really attack anything? Can we go... I feel like we should be able to do something good. Knight b3 takes, queen takes, king goes in, bishop takes, okay. I'm just going to drop back to f5. I think this threatens bishop takes f2. No, it doesn't. The rook was on f1. Okay, I think that's resigns. Because we just gave up 2 pieces for nothing. Yeah. Unfortunate. Okay, 3 down, 1 up. Well, let's toss in another one. Why not? Just throw it in. Chuck it in there, like. You know, chuck it in there, like. Right, 8-4 c5, knight f3, knight c6. Okay, so we're in a Sicilian. d4, cd. We're expecting. Yep, knight takes d4. Just got to play faster. And we're not really seeing things, but just taking a bit too long. Okay, so we're in a Sicilian. What does Viktor Frolov, SPD, fancy? He fancies e5. That's how he treats his Sicilians. What is that? Oh, I think we should go knight b5. Hitting this hole on d6. Right, we've now got 2 guys on that hole. Meaning they should probably play d6 themselves. And that leaves this hole on d5. This is like the Kalashnikov or something, isn't it? Knight d6. You play bishop d6. Queen d6, and you say, okay, but I'm going to play queen c7, e7, excuse me. The threat is to get a knight to d4, where it's quite hard to defend c2, so I think on queen e7 we have to go back to d1. Looks weird, but that's what we'll do. That's how we roll on full board vision. Undevelop. Back to the starting square. Best place. Stay home. Stay home, guys. Hang on. That looks fishy. Knight did take on e4. Why? Why can we give this pawn? So my understanding is that it now looks like this. Sorry. Like that. Okay, so our queen is attacked. Probably we should play queen d5. Attacking the knight. And then they might follow up with f5, but that looks a bit risky. I don't think there's any way we can not retreat the queen, so it's a question of do we go back to d1 straight away, or do we try jumping into d5, causing a bit of havoc, and kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Prompting f5? Provoking. We could provoke f5. Not sure we should be provoking that because it looks like a desirable move. Anyway, I guess on f5 maybe we just chuck in bishop c4 and that might be enough to cause a few problems. Okay, so they went back there, so we can just jump into d6 again. But then they'll just play and then we'll drop back, so we may as well just... Oh no, we don't need to drop back yet, actually. Okay, so maybe we could just play bishop c4. And then against knight d4, just castle and say, yeah, you can have c2, but we're going to run you over. Let's try that out. Oh shit, we just hung our queen. Oh my word. Right, let's keep going. You never know. Forgot that we left our queen on d5. Great stuff, great stuff. Played the Ferrugia gambit. Right, what just happened? Is that a check? I think that leaves the only move, knight c3. Okay, Victor. See what you can do. Can we get them to blunder their queen? Okay, and they come in, attacking the D, the bishop. Okay, they want the... What do they want behind it? I don't know. They're going to go to C2, so we're going to play bishop B3. Let's try and flag them. Fallujah Gambit. About to go 4-1 down. Woeful scoreline. Alright. Anyway, at least we've got a bishop back for the queen and pawn that we've invested. Bishop pair remains on the board. Bishop D2, so D5 has just been thrown in. Or at least, are we castled? No, we haven't. Okay. This is kind of a threat. Don't really want to see that. It's a huge center. Alright, bishop D2. Just working against this idea. Because then we can probably play knight D5 and then it might be hard to defend this. Knight on B4. In fact, we're actually threatening knight takes D5 here. So that's good. It's not good enough, but it is good. Another thing we may also try is A3, forcing the knight to move, and then we can take here with the tempo against the queen. The problem is A3 doesn't really force the B4 knight to move because the A3 pawn is actually pinned. So that's not great. In fact, that's the move that I thought we might see. So just trying to trade the bishops off. Is there any way we can stop that? Let's just see whether this does cause them to panic. If they notice that the A3 pawn is pinned to the rook, then they may go, oh, our B4 knight is just stable, so we're going to hit you with what we wanted, which was D4. This forces some trades, which is not what we want. We want to keep the pieces on because we've got obviously a terrible position in terms of material. Well, that's what happens when you play with queen odds. Also known as playing the Fallujah Gambit. Horrible, horrible position. Worst position we've had on stream, I would say. This week. Okay, they've got a massive center. And some other pawns. We've got a mediocre structure. We've got some nice minor pieces. We've got a pinned A pawn. So we're not actually... Oh, that's kind of interesting because they're saying, right, you're not going to castle. But what we could do now is castle long, unpin. Does it unpin? Yes, it does, because if we capture, this is not a mate. We've got knight B1. Yeah, so let's just castle long. I mean, this might be a really, really bad move, but we are threatening AB. And we are then threatening knight takes D5 or bishop takes D5. Probably knight takes somehow. They're going to have to trade their bishop for our knight if they want to... Okay, interesting. You know what? Let's do it. Knight E4. I mean, we're threatening bishop B4 now, right? So if they take us, bishop B4 might just win a piece because it comes with a tempo on the queen. And if right, but this wins a piece, no? There's no queen G. I mean, that wouldn't work anyway because we'd drop back. but there's a knight on e4. So currently I think we've just won a piece back. Oh, unless they can pin the c pawn. Can they do that? Oh, the queen's on on h3 anyway. So they can. And attackers here. Okay, no problem. No challenge. That's all we can do, I'm afraid. Hope. Hope chess. I don't think they actually castled, so... And what happened to their knight on c6? It's so funny that they decided on that move. Okay, and then... Okay, they're probably going to play, yeah, b6, I thought so. So, okay, but the queen is on c6. Can we do anything about that? We've got 2 minors and 2 rooks. I mean, I just don't think we can. I don't think we can do anything about this. Okay. So be it. Okay, so we have 2 rooks and I think 1 minor piece. Oh goodness. And they got 2 rooks and a queen and 2 extra and a huge center. I mean, it's just ridiculous. All right. How did they manage? Oh yeah. F6, brilliant. Just put everything on dark squares. Okay, let's play F4 then. I mean, I guess they'll just play E4. Poor. Alright, Queen B2 played. Okay, so the idea is if we do actually take this, we're just going to lose. Oh no, it's up on. Okay, let's just. Let's go take E5. And that is a pawn, isn't it? F takes, rook takes. I mean, we're just waiting to get killed, aren't we? Let's be honest. They've almost got, you know, a whole queen. But not quite. Queen and 2 pawns for me, bishop. It's not been the most fruitful session, gotta be honest. Okay, so the trade of rooks takes place. Is there a... Is there a double attack? I don't think so. But this move just looks like curtains. I guess queen f1 is an attractive move, then we'll play rook e1. We did also just allow this pawn to advance. I don't think we stand a cat and mouse chance, really, realistically. Let's be honest. I guess we can't actually play rook e7 because it's queen g5. Which is pretty annoying. Okay, so they're going to come flying down. And we're going to rue the day. Well, there's nothing can be done about that, is there? Is this mate? Yeah, it was mate on the move as well, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright, look. You can't win them all. I mean, if you can win half of them, that's pretty good. But when you lose most, it's not ideal. But we'll come back. We'll keep going. We'll keep going at it. You know, we game rating in the background and they go on stream, lose it all. But stay tuned. We'll keep you supplied with some more live blindfold chess coming to you next Tuesday at 7 PM, where there will be a special guest. So keep your eyes peeled, and your orange is ripe. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Have a good weekend.